awesome moments so far this season. Hope everyone had a fabulous Thanksgiving. We had 8 games on the slate last night, meaning 308 games have now been played this season. And why does that matter? Well, we've officially crossed the quarter mark of the NBA year. That's where the small sample sizes, they become quite substantial. So coming up here on NBA Today, we're going to take stock right here on the defending champions, because not only are they in position to become the first team to repeat since KD's Warriors, but they could also break the record of 73 wins set by the team that preceded him. Plus, over in the East, the newest bad boy Pistons, they are proving that last season's turnaround, right, it wasn't just historic, but it was a stepping stone to something even greater. And the two teams that aren't on this snapshot, they're not anywhere in the playoff picture. We're looking at you, the Clippers and the Milwaukee Bucks. They have a lot more to worry about than being in Cabo when April turns to May, because from the standings to the stats, we haven't seen league-wide scoring like this since the 1960s. And the guy who leads the way, none other than Luka Doncic at just over 35 points a game. Shanae, Danny, Luka and his Lakers, they had their hands full with the Suns last night here in Los Angeles. And Luka came out hot here, Shanae. He really was cranking it up in the first quarter.
I love how he controls the tempo. He also controls his speed with the breaks. This is the area that he loves. He can really, as a big guard, post people up.
He had 20 points in the first quarter, the 15th time he's done it in his career. But then here comes Dillon Brooks, Dillon the villain. When Devin Booker went out with that groin injury, he really stepped up in more ways than one.
Oh, he definitely did. Twin was in his bag. He's my evil twin, if y'all didn't know that. He was in the post, mid-range.
Got the braids?
MJ shake. No, I had braids at one point. That's why he's the evil twin. But yeah, he was in his bag last night.
He certainly was. And then right here, the Suns going the other way in transition. Dillon the villain throwing it down.
Momentum shifting.
Here's what Brooks had to say after the game, because this rivalry with LeBron, it goes back a little bit, right?
He likes people that know to bow down. I don't bow down, so that either entices him or it aggravates him, either or.
That is a chain right there.
Certainly was. So third quarter, this was an interesting sequence here, Shanae, because J.J. Redick is clearly saying, Bron, trying to get LeBron's attention here. You can hear him on the audio yelling it, and LeBron, when the camera moves over, is chatting with the Suns bench during the play. So Redick, he calls a timeout and is seen shaking his head a little afterwards, clearly very calm in this moment.
Still going.
And you can see from another angle here, it's like exactly that.
Yeah.
He's still chatting. After the timeout has been called here, the back and forth, it continues. Yeah. But in the fourth quarter, hey,
like that at all.
It's calling Gillespie time, Danny.
Yep, he got hot, and he let him know who he was tonight. I think it was like 4 straight games with 3+ threes. Last night, 8 threes, and they kept leaving him open.
Scouting report, y'all.
They're going to find out.
Hits it from the
You're
corner.
You're going to learn the hard way.
Yep.
16 of his
Let's
career
around
high,
and find
28
out.
points in the fourth quarter. Here's J.J. Redick on the team's performance after the game.
It's a weird sort of thing. It really is. It's like the Monstars taking over the people that you've grown to coach, and they're not doing anything that they normally do.
Yeah, that was my fault. No way I can have 9 turnovers in the game. So in that second quarter, instead of just giving me the shots instead of shooting the ball, I feel like I was trying to get involved, but there's no way I should have 9 turnovers.
I'm not going to say it's all Luka's fault in this game. There's a lot to unpack with what went wrong. But, Danny, let's start with Luka Doncic and the turnovers.
Yeah, I mean, he did have 38 points in 3 quarters, so he did help. But the Lakers themselves had 22 turnovers for 30 points, but it started with Luka. And also, sometimes bad shots are considered turnovers. Luka coming in off the screen, roll the tape, coming into play, that third quarter, or even the second quarter is when it started, he kind of lost his energy a little bit. Coming up the screen, they did a great job of switching. But him playing in the crowd, you see 4 bodies there. Yeah. Most times, he's able to make this pass. Rui's been open. They didn't involve him quite a bit at all last night. But Phoenix did a great job of kind of showing the crowd and then getting back home and kind of predicting Luka's pass of his next move. Same situation here. You get a back down. You got triple team coming. Him in the paint, playing in the crowd, pump fake. He's great with his ball fakes. DeAndre Ayton is too crowded. Got to find a way to get it out sooner, earlier. But him having these type of turnovers, not only were they bad because they led to pick sixes. These guys can transition not only twos, but threes. Gillespie, one of his 8 threes right there, knocking them down, making them pay.
But hold on, wait a minute, because that's the domino effect. When you have those poor turnovers, what does that lead to? It leads to poor transition defense. Look at the differential here, which is tied for the worst for the Lakers all season. The Suns scored 28 points in transition compared to the Lakers, too. And there are a couple of possessions that I want to highlight where Luka, obviously, is trying to do it bad all by himself, which he's capable of. But still, when they send the entire team, the squad, when he's in a scrum, over here, like 3 or 4 guys are on him. Sometimes those shots are off balance, and that shot becomes a pass, and then it becomes a touchdown sprint. LeBron normally can get those, but right now,
looking human. First time we've seen him look human. He looked 40 right there.
And then Dillon Brooks scores on the other side. Here again, if you saw the shot clock, it's around 18 seconds. That's a quick early shot. That's a short court for a 3. Then there's a little bit of confusion. I think it's Mark Williams that's like, hey guys, we've got someone on the backside. 2 people running to him instead of the 3-point line.
Jordan Goodwin.
Goodwin knocking down the 3. So those turnovers, those bad shots lead to something worse for the Lakers.
Yeah, and that leads to, again, when you're looking at the losses, they're coming off a 7-game winning streak, the Los Angeles Lakers are. So I don't want to say the sky is completely falling, but they have not looked good in the losses that they've had this season, and you can see how that stacks up here. But you mentioned LeBron James looking human, maybe even using the O word, looking old. That's another storyline.
It was a back-to-back.
Because he only played in one half of it, though, Danny.
Yeah,
he barely reached 10 points in this one. He hit a 3 with just under 7 minutes remaining to extend his double-digit scoring streak to 1,297 games. Here's LeBron afterward.
Turnovers, transition points, obviously on our home floor, and then against a disruptive defense like that, you can't turn the ball over that much. And they're pretty much all pick sixes. You know, they not only turned us over, they was able to convert them.
You were on the injury report, like left foot injury management. It wasn't sciatica.
It's called old.
Pick a body part.
You get it. You understand. Yeah, you understand. Just wake up with you had the night before, you know.
So he's calling himself old there because he extended that double-digit point streak, but it was really a rough night for him. 3 for 10 shooting and as many assists as he had turnovers. This was also the first time in his career that he finished a game with 0 rebounds, 0 blocks, and 0 steals. So let's bring in Brian Windhorst, because there's not many people in the industry who followed LeBron more closely as you have over what is quickly approaching the last 25 years. What was going through your mind? Was it old as you were watching LeBron James chase that double-digit mark in the fourth quarter when it was already a blowout game?
Yeah, he didn't have any lift. He didn't have any burst, and he didn't have any lift. We haven't really seen this from LeBron. I know that he's shown his age at times over the last couple seasons. This is the first time this year I felt he's looked this way. Watch this play here. He goes baseline, and he's just got no lift on that shot. This is easy pickings for Mark Williams here. This is just not a typical LeBron James play. So, you know, it was the second game in 3 nights for him. And so he was a scratch on Sunday. The whole Lakers team, frankly, looked slow. It was their 3rd game in 4 nights. And so I feel like that played into it. The Suns are a team that play deep. They play with a lot of pace. It's their game play, and it worked in this game. But we want this to be an outlier situation, certainly an outlier situation in his career, never having impact athletic plays, rebounds, blocks, steals. That's what he's done his whole life. So definitely something to keep our eye on. You do not want to see this be the norm. You want to see this have LeBron having an old, bad night, not something that we see recurrently.
Yeah, I mean, it happens overnight when you become the old guy, and it happens very quickly. And sometimes it's an injury. And sciatica could be a reason why, you know, he's a little off. You know, he looked normal. He looked better than most 40-year-olds, but he didn't look like LeBron that we've seen in the last, 10 years or so. And I seen it when he was kind of chasing guys down. He was just a half a second late of getting a block out of bounds off the glass, or just that run out. Dillon Brooks, him not being that free safety and getting those steals and being a wide receiver out there. Him being a step slow showed his age a little bit last night, but just their energy. And it wasn't just him, but their whole group last night. They seemed out of it. And for him to have to stay in the game that long and struggle to get the double-digit points is kind of a sign, like, this might be the year we see his age a little bit. But, again, it's just one game. They did win 7 straight, 7 in a row. They were on a heater. This was a back-to-back, so I give them a little grace.
I will say it doesn't happen overnight. I think you have the epiphany, like, oh, snap, I'm really in the mix of this. It's something that is a slow progression. But what I will say is, as players age, their game also evolves. Yeah. And I do think we've seen the full evolution of LeBron James, knowing that when he started, it wasn't necessarily, knocking down threes or backing guys down. Like, he was naturally that athletic guy that could hit the mid-range, that could get downhill. And then eventually we started realizing, his 3-point shot is there. And I think we've seen, like, the full circle nature where he just has to but maybe it's not those touchdown plays.
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just playing within the confines of an offense with two amazing playmakers, Austin Reeves and Luka.
And the Lakers were incredibly off last night, but give the Phoenix Suns credit, particularly when Devin Booker went down. Colin Gillespie and your twin, Dillon Brooks, really took over. We didn't realize that you two were twins until we went back.
They found one. They found a picture. Wow.
And
never again, Danny, never again.
The reason why we're evil, because he has the braids. I usually more clean cut. That's why.